Welcome to the Weekly Wine Showdown, brought to you by ClassicWines.com. I'm Brian Friedman. Today's episode, Rosé d'Anjou. What does this mean? It's pink wine from Anjou, which is in the Warra Valley. Now, if rosé has a pretty bad reputation in this country, you know, it's getting a little better because they're making them a little bit drier, or a lot drier. Rosé d'Anjou, because it still has some sweetness to it, it's kind of like the white Zinfandel of the Warra Valley in some people's minds, which isn't so much a good thing. We have two great examples here today. They're value priced, they're fantastic for the warmer weather, both 11% alcohol. Doesn't get any better this time of year. So, let's see how this plays out this week. The first one, we have the Sauvignon Rosé d'Anjou. And these are very typical in color. They're often described as having an almost coral-like color. And you can see that on both of these today. So we'll give this one a good swirl and a sniff. See, right off the bat, you can tell this is sweeter than a lot of the dry rosés people drink. But it's not cloyingly sweet, like a bad white Zin. Sort of in that middle ground there. Just because it's sweet doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. Certainly very fruity on the nose. Maybe something a little peppery, but it's really not giving us a whole lot. Now this is interesting. The sweetness builds on the finish, which means that you get more and more of a sugar sensation in your mouth and on your tongue after you spit or swallow the wine. To me, it tastes a whole lot like super, super ripe raspberries. Maybe a little bit of white pepper in there, like the white peppercorns. But that's about it. It's simple, it's fruity, not a whole heck of a lot going on there, which isn't a bad thing this time of year. The second one is the Bougrier Rosé d'Anjou, also a 2006, also 11% alcohol. Really similar color here, maybe a bit more of a salmon hue than that coral. Now the nose on this smells a whole lot much more similar. It smells much more similar to a dry rosé that most of us would be used to from France. Really, not a whole lot of fruit at all. Maybe like some rhubarb, but that's about it. You ever have a rhubarb pie? Sort of like that, minus the sugar. Wow. That is way too sweet. It's like a really bad berry cobbler with too much sugar, and they try to like compensate for lack of ripeness of the fruit or flavor just by like glazing the heck out of everything. This one's not working for me. I'm not a huge fan of this style of rosé. I like them drier, but there is a place and a time for them. And if that's the case, I absolutely have to go with the Sauvignon. Absolutely no question. The winner of this week's Weekly Wine Showdown, the Sauvignon Anjou Rosé. Well, for ClassicWines.com, I'm Brian Friedman, and remember, no matter what you drink, no matter how sweet or dry the rosé, it's only grape juice. Cheers.